Hello, everyone! Once again, the world's biggest poker tournament has broken its own records in Las Vegas. Over 10,000 players from all over the world took part in the 2024 edition of the WSOP main event, adding up all these $10,000 entries for a $94 million prize pool. This astronomical sum will be divided among the 1,517 highest-ranked players, with a lion's share of $10 million going to the winner, along with poker's most prestigious trophy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. For the time being, 3,617 players are still in with a chance of winning the title at the start of the third day. And among them is our hero, Adrian Mateos. The Machina has come through the first 2 days of play brilliantly and enters day 3 with a very comfortable stack of 330,000. More than enough to put Adrian in 302nd position in the provisional rankings and among the biggest stacks at his table. 10 hours of play await our hero today, and of course, we're hoping to feel the excitement with Adrian all the way to the end. Come on, champ, it's your turn to play.
I had a good rest. A bit of relaxation before returning to the tournament. Vegas is hot as hell. I have a pretty long drive to the casino. Day 3 of the tournament. We'll probably reach the money today. I'm going to try to have a dominating stack on the bubble if I get lucky with a good table. The main event bubble can be very profitable. Well, we'll see. Let's go.
Hey, Steph. What's up? Good?
How you doing?
Fine.
Nice
good.
car.
Yeah.
Are you renting it?
Yeah. Need this year.
Okay, so how are you doing?
Good. Important day today. So let's see.
You get a lot of chips, huh?
Yeah, for the moment, yeah. But long way. long way. Today is big day because it's the bubble, so
You sure today's gonna be the bubble? Maybe
it's gonna be close, yes. But last level is gonna be or in the money or super close to the money. But people start playing tighter probably, so.
Okay.
The plan is arrive the last level with a lot of chips so I can punish the bubble. Will be nice. The table, I don't know anyone, so that's good. But I think it's gonna break soon because I'm in the party, so
They're moving everything back to the horseshoe. Huh?
probably, yeah. Need to ask the floor how many tables. They're breaking order, but should be break soon.
All right.
It's really fun game, really fun tournament, this one.
Adrian,
Hey,
Good luck, man.
Today we don't play together.
yeah, fine.
Good luck.
Another day at the office.
This tournament is special. It's just, I love it because like you can do whatever you want. You don't have to worry about anything. Like just it's way more freestyle, which is nice. I feel confident in my freestyle too, so it's nice.
No, you're very
I think it's one of my best skills. Yeah.
so heavy and strong, you know, like
Yeah.
just keep building up it.
Yeah.
Keep building.
66. Do you know what is it? 66 is probably black, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's gonna feel a little. So maybe it's not gonna break soon.
All right, I'll be.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm getting to my table. It was published yesterday and I looked at the names. None of them ring the bell.
Hello.
We'll see how they play.
Make your way to your tables now. We will be cracking the bags in less than 30 seconds.
Hello.
Players at day
Good morning.
if you wish to crack your own bag.
Hello.
Now,
What's happening? What's up?
Table. No running, please. No running.
I did?
Yeah, please. You have pink?
No, I didn't have.
Oh, no pink.
You all rested?
Yeah?
Yeah? You didn't hit the pits last night?
Hit what?
You didn't hit the pits last night?
Pits? I don't understand that.
Pits are like blackjack and crap.
No, I didn't.
Please meet me at the cage at the
Just go to play paddle and go to the gym. Everything was good. Healthy.
Staying here?
Yeah, in the house here.
Yeah, me too. Reasonable gym.
Yeah. You guys, do you mind to move a little bit to the left? Some more space. Two big guys.
Yeah, no
Thanks.
It's the start of a new day.
Where are you from?
Pardon?
Where are you from?
North Carolina?
North Carolina.
Good, how are you?
How long is the flight from there?
About 5 hours.
players, dealers in the main event. Now it's the time. We're going to crack some
Skip day one, man. I decided to spend day one with my family.
You buying day two?
I am on a day two, that's right.
Do not stack the chips.
You save like 3-4 days.
That's good.
Exactly.
Back of the chair. Again, you're going to crack those bags.
My anniversary on
Yellow
Saturday
top
too,
goes
so I
on
figured
top of the chips.
even if
I
I
mean-
win, I still lose. You know.
Those chips at the
Day
back.
two is a lot of big blinds too, so it's
Right.
fine.
Blind's going to be 1,000, 2,500, 1,000, 2,500. Dealers, shuffle up and deal.
There are still 3,600 players remaining. It's still a crazy tournament. But from the 10,000 we started with, there are less and less remaining.
Morning, everyone. Hey, good morning.
I have a big stack, well above average, and the goal is to get to the end of the day with an above average stack so that I can put pressure on the bubble. But until then, there are still a lot of hours of play. It looks like this card is a bit marked. I'm going to tell the dealer after I fold.
This card is marked. It's not new deck, right?
Yeah.
This is marked.
Is that 20?
It's 15.
It's the beginning of the day, and they probably used the same deck as the day before. Someone must have pressed too hard with their fingernail, and the card got marked. In these cases, the card or the deck needs to be changed.
Are those whites in the back? Can't see your stack. Thank you.
You start strong.
This will be my first hand.
Yes. Heads up.
The big blind defends. A flop on which I'm going to have a strategy of continuation bets very often. A small bet with most of my range. The turn gives me the nut flush. Here I can either check or bet. I think betting is going to be more profitable. And on the river, I have an obvious value bet. I want to think about the right sizing. Anything over 3/4, 2/3, I think is fine. I can even go for an overbet, depending on how my opponent perceives me. I'm going to go for a sizing of about 3/4. It looks like he's gonna call, which is good news. He calls. Good start to the day.
What a life this guy.
I think I never fold the nuts, and won't be today the first day.
I understand. No, I understand. Congrats on a great night.
Thank you.
There's a good atmosphere at the table. We're going to be spending the day together, a lot of hours, and it's better to have a good atmosphere. I'm going to play this hand on the button. He has 300,000. Let's see if the flop is good. That's a great flop for my hand. Top pair and gut shot. I can bet small or I can bet a little bigger. Doesn't change much. I decide to make it 1/3. The turn is a jack, and here I have the first tough decision of the hand, which is, do I keep betting or do I check? I think both options are close. Let's see what my opponent does. He decides to check. I check the river. I could have value against some opponents. But in the main event, a lot of players check very strong hands on the river. Against another opponent, I could try to get value on the river.
Not enough to call a clock, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's not enough to call a clock, but it's just enough to
Tilt you a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he was the type that like had his chip stacked like this. So he'd take 15 seconds of decision and then he'd go like this.
Yeah.
So he'd hold it and then he'd go like that, like
Right,
every
right.
time, and he just like adding another few seconds. Yeah, we were all tilted.
Mm-hmm.
My reign of terror is over.
2 kings.
It's a race, right?
Yeah, 5,000. Half price.
A raise from early position and a call from early position as well. I mean, the original raiser has 25 blinds. I've got a pretty clear squeeze on the button.
Every time he was back.
I decide to make it 8 blinds, but I can't make it much bigger because the opener is short.
And then put 1,000 out. It's like drop 1,000. Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, he did it every single time. He would pick up like The most number of chips are giant man-hands to the hole, and the biggest value chips, whatever.
I hope he goes all in.
He would drop the smallest chip. But he wasn't trying to be funny. It's like, I think maybe he's trying to get a
He decides to fold.
oh, that's like I'm not
20?
British, but then I'm like, I think I haven't seen it done. It's just, oh, it was interesting. It was a really mini game.
Heads up.
But the second player calls. The pot is getting big,
It's like a really bad decision.
and it's a very bad flop. However, it's a flop where I have a big range advantage,
What's the new show that's out that you're in?
Oh,
and I think I have to continue with my entire range on this flop.
That is it.
with Rob McElhenney.
That includes kings.
And
Mythic Quest.
yeah, it's on Apple. It's got Rob McElhenney and it's so good. It's
He
really
calls me.
very good for it.
And you said it's on Apple?
Turn 10.
It's about a company.
The first question here is whether I should start turning my hand into a bluff in order to try to get ace-x to fold, or whether I should check because I have showdown value.
And I've never
I'm
used
still
it.
winning against king jack, queen jack, queen 10, and so on. I have showdown value. My hand is good enough not to have to bluff.
Honestly, I don't know because we get very specific checks that are like, they like have high profile celebrities. So I would say only if there's a show you. They don't,
The river goes check, check.
they don't have a bunch of
Ah, he hit 2 pair that he didn't even bet on the river.
Netflix. It's like a no-brainer channel.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't so bad. 2 out of 3 ain't so bad.
But their shows.
I live in Dallas.
Not in this school.
What's that? Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to like it. Yeah.
Pair of sixes.
Raise.
Yeah, you're writing, but sometimes you'll have to.
I open from early position.
Or what have to go to the other.
I face a 3-bet from hijack, who has a stack of 30 blinds, which I don't like very much.
The train keeps moving. Yeah. There's gonna be an episode.
My hand is a bit marginal against the 3-bet.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. More than the thing.
But the cutoff calls, which is weird. There shouldn't be a lot of hands that cold call, at least theoretically. The good thing is that this gives me an easier call with my hand. The pot odds are very good. It's 10,000 for a pot of 54,000, and it's basically a call to see if I hit a 6.
3 players.
Great flop, full house. It checks around to the cutoff. Who should be the player with the strongest range? He bets 1/4, and here I have 2 options, to call or to raise. I think both options are valid. I decide to call his time. With a full house, I need a bit less protection, although I would have raised more often with trip 9s.
Heads up.
We are now heads up. A king that gives a flush draw.
Yep.
It's a card that favors his range quite a bit. He checks very quickly. And on the river, I want to bet. I can also check raise from time to time, but most of his aces, ace king, etc., hands like these should often bet on the turn. Therefore, I think he more often has, or at least his range seems to be more often tens, jacks, or queens. His range includes more hands like these, and these are the main hands that I want him to call with. I decide to make it 2/3.
34.
You've got an open-ended driver. You're trying to an inside.
And my opponent grabs a lot of chips.
Raise.
Wow, he raises me.
How much?
Here, he's clearly representing a very strong hand in a spot where I don't think he's got bluffs, really. Nobody bluffs in this situation.
Much? 125?
Yeah, 125. 125.
I only lose to kings that could be played like this sometimes. It's 3 combos, but I think he could have them quite often. The good thing is that I have to put in 70,000 for a pot of 350,000. I only need to win 20% of the time, even less. And there are 3 combos that beat me. I need mathematically 0.5 combos. Less than 1 combo to win against. I don't think he's bluffing, to be honest. And let's see if he could have a worse value hand. Could he have trip 9s on the flop? I don't think he's calling pre-flop with a 9x. Maybe aces? Ace-king? It's weird, isn't it? He shouldn't be raising on the river with these hands, but it's the main event. You never know. I don't think I can fold. I only need him to have a worse hand every so often only, and that's enough to call. The pot odds are very good. In the end, it's 70,000 for a pot of 350,000. But I still have my read that he doesn't have a bluff. I can see he's sure of himself. His bet sizing makes me believe he has value. I don't expect him to have a bluff, really. But on the other hand, the pot odds are very good and I have a strong hand, but he's also showing that he has a very strong hand. Or at least that's what he wants to represent. I'm going to call. Aces, wow, good. My read was good, but I didn't expect him to raise with aces for value. I think that's a mistake on his part. I had a hard time calling him with a full house. I don't think he would get called by any worse in this situation. I win a nice pot.
No way I thought I was losing that hand in the tank.
I won a very, very big pot.
Thought for sure ace king or queen king was good.
Raise.
I'm going to defend this hand. It's a bit wide, but against a min raise, I think I have to call. On this flop, I can have a strategy to check or to donk bet. This time, I decide to check. Here, I'm often going to have the best hand on this turn. I think my hand needs to start betting for value and for protection. Good river for my hand. He has few better hands. I think I have a pretty clear value bet. In this sequence, his range is going to consist of a lot of ace highs and king highs, and I have a clear value bet.
14, 14.
Yeah, right.
So thing that
He calls me. King 5 is the winning hand.
It's close. I said king 6.
And I keep adding chips.
That's really simple. That's what it is.
Pair of 4s.
This.
14.
14.
14.
Oh,
14.
very,
1-4.
14.
1-14.
14,000.
I got 3-bet by the player in middle position. He has 30 blinds. There are starting to be short-stacked players. You have to be a bit more careful pre-flop. My hand. It's not that great in this situation, but I think the call is profitable. A flop. That is bad for my hand.
Check.
He checks back, which is good news. Once he decides to check, I rule out most overpairs, and now my 4s become pretty strong. I think it's a hand with which I can bet for value, or check and maybe bet on the river. I need a lot of protection, but I don't have that much value either. I'm going to leave the value for the river. River 2, it's good. Here I very often have the best hand. After checking twice, I don't think he often has a pair. His range consists mostly of ace highs. Ace king, ace queen, these types of hands. I decide to bet 1/3 for value. Let's see if he calls me with ace high, that would be nice. But he folds. At least I win one more pot.
I just got the DLC, but I'm playing it now because people are like, all those rules are like, dude, you're gonna
Button against an open from the cutoff. It's a hand I'm gonna play.
I am not happy about that, my friend.
The cutoff makes a joke saying that he doesn't want to play against me.
Two big thumbs down, guys.
Three player.
We're not like.
It's a good flop. I have a double gut shot. The cutoff bets pretty quickly without thinking much. I think calling is the only possible option here. The turn is good. It gives me a straight,
Just why did I say that?
but it completes the flush. He seems to be making a joke about this turn. In my opinion, this reduces his chances of having a flush. It's rare to hit a flush and make a joke about the turn. I almost always have the best hand. I hope he calls. He's hesitating, he doesn't know what to do. The thing is that the bet is quite important for his stack. He has about 65. My bet is worth almost 1/3 of his stack. He is starting to make a lot of faces. It's usually indicative that he's going to fold, I think. I hope not, but...
No.
Indeed, he folds. That's too bad.
Could have made a bad lay down. Or I could have saved my turn. You really should flip your cards over when you play heads up against me. That's the only fair way to do it. There has to be some measure of handicap. I mean, this is. I folded the nut flush though. Is that a bad fold?
What?
I had the nut flush though. Is that a bad fold?
Good for, good for.
That's a good fold. Thank you. Feel much better.
The room is emptying out around us. Our table is definitely one of the next ones to break. But for the moment, I'm going to open with this hand.
Raise. Three players.
A three-way pot. Top pair. On a board where I'm going to have to check quite often. With this hand though, I think it's good to bet every now and then.
Three top.
The player in the big blind has 32 blinds and he directly goes all in, which is quite a lot of blinds on this flop. Top pair, top kicker is a very strong hand though, and he should never have overpairs.
14.
Here, it's better to call with ace-8 than with 9s or 10s because I'm blocking the two pairs. The only hands that beat me are basically the two pairs. A few sets, but
16.
the sets can also jam pre-flop from time to time.
17.
There aren't that many hands that beat me,
17.
and what is certain is that when he puts in that many chips, he should have something. It's very possible that he's on a flush draw.
79.
I hope he has king 8, queen 8, a worse 8, but I'd be surprised. Bad news for me. He had 6-3, 2 pair. The turn in the river didn't help me, so I lose a big pot, about 30 blinds. He defended with 6-3 off, which is obviously pretty bad,
79 5.
but he hit the perfect flop. Spain is playing a very important match for the Euro, and I'm also watching it on my phone. A player is eliminated from the table. He loses a very big pot. He doesn't look very happy.
You have about 10 minutes before we start. You can go ahead and take your seat. If there's no dealer there, they'll be there shortly.
All right, guys, we're going to be moving to the horseshoe. We're all going to move as one group. It's the bag. It's the bag. Stay visible at all times, guys. Back, back. We're all moving as one group.
They're breaking the table and moving us to the other area, which is in the casino next door. So, a short walk now.
Stay with us, okay?
He's got to sleep with that now. It's gonna burn him. Matches the call, but like you said.
Nice to play with all of you.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks again for
You
your
don't luck.
luck, guys. Don't break my arm. No, what did you do? Oh man, I love it. You look like an actor. You know Mike Flanagan? No, but I don't know that many people. I kind of like go to work. I got a face for behind the camera. Hey, congrats on all your success, but
Thank you.
yeah, that's awesome.
Good luck.
Thanks. All right, moving on. Onward and upward.
We all have to go together. They broke several tables in this room, and the floor has taken us to our new table.
Always sick of work. I like this.
I'm just calling River there if you're me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought I knew afterwards. I
yeah.
call him because
I have 9x in my range. I have full 6s or 7s maybe too.
yeah. Nice one.
And
70,000.
These are the last minutes of Spain's match, and I'm taking advantage of this walk to see if we qualify.
Está estresado, ¿verdad?
último minuto.
Un minuto. Va a ganar, va a ganar.
Spain win.
Spain wins and we get through. It's pretty important.
¿Ya? ¿Ya?
Yeah.
Y todo que están te filmando son francés, ¿no?
All right, now back to poker.
That's it. That's a day 4 right there. Red's right behind me.
Behind me?
Right behind me.
We're gonna see which table I get.
Okay. Yeah. He's a great player, but then they watch like this stuff.
Vamos. ¿Qué? Sí, sí, lo estaba viendo, sí, sí. Vamos, vamos. Oh, excuse me. Hello.
I don't know any player.
Thank you.
Bring the whole film through.
Yeah.
There are a couple of players whose faces ring a bell. I have seen them at the World Series or at some American tournaments over the years. But I don't know. I'm not sure how they play. The table seems worse than the last one, but with a higher percentage of professional players. But we'll see how it goes. Looks like I'm going to play my first hand, this king 10 off. I decide to open.
Raise 5500.
A player on the cutoff calls me. He seems to be a professional and he's short. He has about 25 blinds.
Players.
Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go, baby.
I'm going to check it quite often.
Check. Players.
On this turn, I have a candidate hand to bet from time to time, even though it's not a very clear bet either. He doesn't have a lot of strong ace-X. The majority of them, ace-king, ace-queen, even ace-jack, could have went all in pre-flop. That makes his range a bit weaker than expected. I decide to polarize my hand.
Bet 17,000.
Besides, having the 10 is good. I'm blocking ace-10, which is one of his most probable aces. And he goes all in. I wasn't expecting that very often. It's possible he has Jack-9 suited or something like this that hit 2-pair on the turn. I lose this pot, but I think the hand is correct.
It's been a lively start to the day you've just had, Adrian, but overall, everything's gone swimmingly. The first level of day 3 has just ended, and your stack has already grown from 330,000 to over 500,000. That's good news, because we'll be back to check out your new table in the next episode of Inside the Mind of a Pro.